What's going on? This is the Broke Genius, and welcome to the life of a broke genius. Welcome to my channel.
What's going on today? Going to be talking about my book, the only book that I wrote, which is called The Millionaire Savings Plan. And the title is Does It Work? And it's just pretty much self explanatory. Um, First of all, in case you didn't know what the Millionaire Savings Plan, basically it's a plan that you kind of can look at it kind of like the baby steps of Dave Ramsey's I forgot the name of his book, but basically it's very similar to that, but the only difference is you you do need to prep yourself for it. There's some prep work that needs to be done, meaning you need to get caught up on all of your expenses and even past due expenses, which turns into debts basically. Past past due expenses turns into debt. Um, Pretty much, you want to get caught up on all of your light bills and gas bills and your current subscriptions and car payments and if you have any rent, mortgage, you want to get caught up in those, and then you want to start with $1,000. Try to get fast as you can to $1,000 or whatever basically you have as far as money. Some people have more than $1,000. Some people have $10,000. So basically, you start with what you have. If you have $500,000, you start there, and basically after each step, you basically get a reward. So in the case of you have, have $512,000 already, well, you only got one step to go, and basically what you could do is, because you already have $512,000, you can just basically get something for just that. You can literally start the Millionaire Savings Plan if you already have. Let's just go backtrack $1,000. You can literally get yourself a reward and then move on to step two, which is $2,000. And after each step, you give yourself a reward. Um, the reward is basically twofold. Uh, it's to motivate you to get to the step that you're trying to get to, which would be if you have $1,000 to get to 2,000, and it also is something that is helpful along your journey after you basically get the reward. As I state in the book, you should try to make your reward something that you actually need, not so much a want. It could be a want, but it could be something that you can kind of that you need. Like for example, uh, you might need a used car or something like that, or let's just say, I mean, I know you guys are not as cheap as I am. Um, I don't know. It's say $2,000. You reach $2,000. You was looking for a bicycle. You could get a decent bicycle for around that price. You know, it doesn't have to be all of the money that you've saved. Obviously, it could be, let's just say, I know inflation and current costs and stuff like that. You can get a decent, a halfway decent bike for about anywhere between $200 to $500. Get you a bike. It helps you, basically lose weight and you know get off your feet. That's an example of a reward. So basically, back to the question: does it work? Does the Millionaire Savings Plan work? And to answer that question briefly, it does work. Am I a millionaire? Do I have to be an expert, which means have already been a millionaire, to prove that the Millionaire Savings Plan works? It's really when you think about it, it actually um is pretty much self-explanatory. You know, the more money you save, the more money it works. I mean, literally, like I remember, one of the reasons why, and another reason why I wrote this book, other than this book was actually kind of a life changing thing for me, was that I've always had problems saving money. I just literally, I've just always have had that problem. This program basically helped me save the most money I've ever saved in my life. I've made quite a bit of money over my life. I mean, um, you know, but I've just never could seem to save any hardly. And I saved quite a bit last year. Um, not last year, but in 2020. And it allowed me to actually not only buy a house, but I'll just brag a little bit. I'll upload a little picture. Not only do I own a house, I own a freaking block. Okay, this is what being able to save money has allowed me to do. Buy me an entire residential block. I have no neighbors. In order for me to go talk to my neighbors, I have to go walk across the street or walk past the alley in order to talk to a neighbor. I have no neighbors because I literally have a plot of land next to my house. It's a pain to cut, and then of course, on my plot, I have a house. Okay, I mean, I wouldn't have been able to purchase that that real estate without the Millionaire Savings Plan. I mean, I just wouldn't have been able to. I mean, honestly, it's just like that. I mean, on a small little macro level, the Millionaire Savings Plan literally took me out of a situation where I was like living with family to at least having some property, some real estate. You know, uh, Now I'm still in the throes of trying to move up these steps, but this basically works. This program definitely works, and I wouldn't need to say that I would have to be an expert, meaning I've been a millionaire twice over, thrice over. No, very very conceptually, or basically that it just basically works because you can, on a like I say, a small level, improve your life. Because, for example, this book would even work, and concept would even work if you were able to save $1,000. You not let alone $1 million, $1,000, because statistically, less than 40% of Americans actually have an emergency fund, of $1,000 or more. Literally, most people don't have that. I mean, well, let's just say a lot of people, a lot of households don't have $1,000. A lot of people are living check to check, especially now because it's a lot of things going on, and definitely inflate people. Uh, you're hearing the word inflation. You know, last time you probably went to the grocery store, if you're a freaking carnivore, you've seen the prices of meat. And if you eat a lot of chicken, you probably thinking about growing some chicken in your backyard, because I mean the prices of chicken, poultry is just astronomical. You know, I remember growing up, and I didn't really even like the, you know, I pretty much liked I like whole chickens. You know, I used to buy the little chickens from Walmart and stuff like that. And I didn't really like the parts of chicken, like wings and thighs and drumsticks. And it's like, man, I mean, wings kind of like took off to this, like, you know, big to do, you know, where like people literally, something that, you know, wings was actually an appetizer. They've never been a main really course. Wings actually started off to be just kind of an appetizer. Now, for whatever reason, the way they were marketed, you know, and sold, they become a situation where they're a meal replacement, or actual meal. You know, chicken wings and fries. Even, you know, uh, into pop culture and music, they become a meal to where the price of wings are actually, um, you know, very expensive. Okay, I mean that's just one of many examples of you know, inflation, prices of things going up and whatnot. And yeah, it's I've I've been different places. Even in Chicago, I was going to drop a car off to get repaired, and I was walking. I was on the bus because I was going back to my other car. I saw somebody in Chicago raising chickens in a Mexican neighborhood. And I mean, I'm talking about, this is Chicago. This is not any rural part. Like, Chicago has no rural parts. It's no it's all pretty much urban. It's some suburban type parts. It's some parts of Chicago that is like kind of suburban, um, you know, kind of really nice, but it's mostly urban. And yeah, you know, saw this guy growing chickens. It's on my Facebook page, Broke Geniuses. Um, you know, it's on one of those videos, so should be there because I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, okay, but that's gonna be probably increasing. You know, some people just gonna take it there, you know, because literally you can go get some eggs, go get some hens and some roosters, some cocks, and literally watch a few YouTube videos and get, you know, chickens pretty much eat everything. So feeding them ain't gonna be a problem. Uh as far as their diet, you know, they'll even eat mice, uh you know, bugs and stuff like that. I actually love bugs. Uh you know, it's gonna be people, you know, literally raising chickens in a backyard. A lot more people, you know. So yeah, I mean, it does work. You know, this plan definitely works. You know, don't need to be an expert to realize one plus one equals two. Two is better than one. You know, uh four is better than two. I don't need to be an expert to realize that. Don't need to be whatsoever, you know. So um one of the biggest things that also that I'll mention is the debt factor of all of this. Like I mentioned, do need to get your life in order to, you know, get this to go. um, you do have to basically get some type of life structure as far as like your financial life, meaning you would need to uh, get your get caught up on bills, basically. You know, if you have debts, you do have to do some type of debt management to start this. I would recommend that. And then also, if you have debts, do need to start a debt snowball along with this, you know, this plan. So, for example, how would that look? A debt snowball, basically, you would uh you would basically gather up all of your debts, and I recommend it's called an avalanche method. You start off with the smallest debt, right? So the avalanche method is basically smallest to largest. So it's like a little small ball of snow, and it turns in and it rolls down the hill, and it basically starts a bigger ball, and then it's next thing you know, it's this big, you know, massive amount of snow coming at you. So in theory, how that works is you are starting off with, let's just say you got your smallest bill is $500. It's old cable bill, you know, credit card bill, whatever, or even old bank account that was charged off. Well, you pay that $500. You know, you could literally negotiate a lot of stuff. You know, might be in collections. You could literally contact a collection company and do what is called uh, a delete, a pay and delete agreement. So you just basically you negotiate. All right, you know, they'll take like $300, and then once you pay that, you get in their agreement in writing that you once you pay this debt off, this collection company will show this due paid in full, and they will delete that account on your credit report per the agreement after you pay that settlement off. So you just move on. You move on down the list. So after $500, you have an old medical bill that's $1,200. So you do the same thing with that. Most of those are most medical stuff is collection. So you contact the collection company. What can you what is a reasonable settlement you can offer me? You know, they'll say like, you know, can you pay $700? Then you pay that. The same thing as the first bill. You know, delete agreement. And what you'll start to find out once you pay these things off and they delete from your credit report is actually going to go up. You if you've don't have any credit cards, if you really want your credit score to go up, but this is not my thing is I'm not necessarily talking about credit. I'm not talking about I my focus is not on so much your credit and your score going up. The whole thing is to actually get out of debt, because you want your balance sheet to be, you know, basically where you don't have any debt. So any money that come in, it goes towards a positive, a net positive towards, you know, your balance sheet. So it's not necessarily to focus on you know, your credit score, but just aside, you can get, if you don't have any credit cards and you're in a state where financial state that you got to reestablish, well, you can get some secured cards, one or two, and then basically put balances, put money on those, and then keep a low balance, and that'll shoot your credit score up really really fast, because that's showing that you have money on a credit card and you're not even using it, meaning you just have open credit lines. That looks really really good on your credit report. So uh, you can do that if you actually want your credit score to go higher. But like I say, the whole plan is basically to get out of debt, and you can even use your credit cards to pay for your debts, and just kind of just pay it off and keep your balance low. So in theory, I'm not saying, okay, you pay your debts off with your credit card and then you just revolve the debt onto your credit card. No, you just pay with your credit card and then pay your credit card off, the balance off in you know that same month, and then initially you will have a zero balance on your credit card. So you'll do both. You'll be like basically killing two birds with one stone when you do that. Let's see, I got some questions in the chat. Andrea, do you agree that people should pay all of their daily expenses with credit cards and then pay them off in full monthly? Um, if that's what like you feel comfortable doing, I don't see any problems with that. But I'll say this: people that really really do have money, they don't even use their credit cards unless it's an emergency. Like I'm talking about got money. Like I got a family member. I ain't gonna say no names, but they they rarely use their credit cards because they got so much cash on hand. They just basically use they have their credit cards that look good on their credit report so they can have a high credit score. They like rarely use their credit cards. Like um I know it sounds weird. This is the whole credit thing, like, because that's why I really don't really get into it in my book, because um the thing is that it just doesn't really make sense to me. But it seems like a lot of times your credit gets better when you prove that you don't even need credit. it's like it's like a girl that's stuck up. Like, she doesn't like you. She doesn't like the guy that really wants her. She likes the guy that appears to not even need her or want her, but he wants her. Um, she's more attracted to that guy versus the guy that's really, really like just bugging and just like, really, really trying to be with her. Like in the case of in credit, like, you really, really want that mortgage. You really, really want that you know, 15,000 limit credit card, but they only give it to those that really kind of don't even need it. They like, for example, somebody that has a 700 credit score, and they already have zero balances on their current credit cards, with $10,000 limits. They can get that credit card because they show that they don't even need the credit, and they're not even really using it, but they have the credit lines. Um, so it's like, yeah, I mean, it's weird like that, but the people I know that have money, like a lot of money, they don't even really use their cards for daily expenses. They just they just pretty much just use them when they need to, like they gotta rent a car or they gotta pay for, a furnace went down or something like that. A roof needs to be they have to redo their roof, stuff like that. Big I guess large expenses. So I watched a video of a millionaire who said that he never gave them debit cards and instructed them to only use their credit card. Yeah, I mean, the theory behind credit cards is you kind of using it like a debit card, I guess, to pay off of your your expenses every month, and then it'll in essence go to zero, and then all of a sudden, your credit is going up. I mean, I get the concept. Basically, it's twofold. You're paying for expenses with your credit card. You're paying them off every month, and then your credit is gonna, go up because you're showing that you're able to pay for these revolving expenses. I get it. Um, I definitely get it. I mean, would I do that? Uh, I wouldn't. I mean, I get like I say, my family member is one of the richest um in my family, and he's like an example. And he don't even make as much as he's not the most like highly paid of my family members. I got another family member that uh he makes like the upper six figures. Now not upper, but like not just 100,000, like 200, $300,000 before. But he spends probably more than what he even makes. Guess who? Okay, my other family member, he don't even make 100K. Guess who borrows from who? You would think my uncle that doesn't even scratch 100K would borrow from my uncle that makes $200,000, $300,000. No, my uncle that makes $300,000 borrows from my uncle that basically doesn't even make $100,000 because he. I wish I could be like him, but unfortunately I can't. He's like a miser. He doesn't like to. It would like if I remember one time he had a TV that went out. It took him like 3 years to get another TV, and then he got a TV used from somebody that like one of his tenants that owed him some money. He takes things a little bit uh too frugal. Like he's very very highly frugal. But yeah, I mean, he's more of an example than my other uncle, which actually makes probably three or four, if not five times more than what he makes. Because the thing is that it's about what you keep. you know, at the end of the day, and you definitely if you're spending a lot, what if you lose your job? You're not able to pay that back, that bounce back. Let's just say theoretically from this, this millionaire that gives this example. He doesn't have to be a millionaire. I've heard this example many times. I've heard this example from people that are not millionaires. Okay, you have a credit card. It's $10,000 limit, or $15,000 limit. Um, your net normal expenses. I mean, you pay for everything with this credit card, just like it's a debit card. So you pay for your mortgage, rent or whatever, car payment, groceries, whatever utility bills you have, cell phone bill, you pay for this, right? This all of these payments come in, let's just say uh January 1st. Okay. Um then you get a notice from your job when you go in, you know, sorry everyone, January 15th is the last calendar date that we are going to be in business. We got into a situation where um we have to close up operations. I'm sorry for the short notice, but you know, everyone will be let go January 15th. You know, well, that is the only thing that I can say is kind of like messed up with that plan, because the debit card, if you use your debit card, that's your money. You use a credit card, it's not necessarily your money. It's a bank's money, and you spent all of your money. Now you got to pay. I mean, are you gonna pay all of that back when knowing that you're not gonna get any more paychecks? You're gonna have some type of log jam where there's not gonna be any paychecks coming in because you getting let go in a couple weeks. That that's the only thing that I could say is a problem with that, because and here's the thing that has been a problem with people. I remember the mortgage collapse, 2008. People were using their credit cards to basically pay for everything because they lost their job. And it's a slippery slope. It's kind of like playing with fire. It works if you got money coming in. It could be a problem when there's no longer any money coming in. If same situation, if you pay with your debit card, yeah, it sucks. You're not gonna have a job, but you're not gonna have any credit card debt. It's like that's the only problem I see with that scenario. And then it goes into the whole thing of cash being king. You know, mine went down. I used cash only for years, and my credit was horrible. I was forced to get a couple credit cards to improve my score. Yeah, I mean, that, like I say, I don't really go too much in on credit and rebuilding and going. I mean, uh, the whole plan is basically to get more cash heavy and invest, and then get higher and higher and higher up. I mean, you can get a secure card. You can get a secure card up to $5,000. I think even higher than that. You can literally get a secured card for, like, I think upwards of $5,000. I mean, that's pretty sustainable. And then, yeah, if that helps your credit score, which it should, and then you pay it off and everything, right? Um, that's gonna rebuild your credit score. And yeah, you'll probably get a credit card with a limit of, let's just say, $1,000 for starters, and a unsecured card. Then they'll give you something like, might give you a $5,000 or $3,000 limit card, and then you pretty much you good to go at that point. But like I say, I don't really go into on credit cards and credit scores, because that's other people's money. My whole thing is becoming, sovereign, becoming, basically, have your own money. All of that stuff is rich people's money, as I call it. Mortgages, car loans, credit cards. It's bank money, as rich people's money. You want your own money, and you want to be rich. You want to give out loans and stuff like that, make money off of people. You want to be, in essence, the bank. I mean, that's what the rich people do, the wealthy. So I mean, like I say, I ain't necessarily against credit cards. I mean, if it works, I mean, I got a couple credit cards, and it's it works when you need them, because it's certain things you can't really use debit card. If you get a decent hotel worth of fuck, you they don't use any. You can't use no debit card to rent to put down on a hotel that's like 4 or 5 stars, 4 or 5 star hotel. Even some 3 star hotels, uh, they don't like debit cards. You got to use a credit card. You know what I'm saying? So definitely do need credit cards in certain instances. You know, uh, you're more than welcome. So yeah, I mean it's a basically a method, back to the avalanche method. It's basically you paying off the small debts, and then you moving on to basically down the list, smallest to highest, you know. So, what if you had no debts, or your debts are like less than $10,000, I mean, what if you actually had no debt? That is where I wish I was. Unfortunately, most people do have debt, but what if you don't have debt? That means that you can basically just move on down the list, and you actually have the money that you come in. You don't have to worry about anybody calling you, talking about you owe them anything. You don't have any child support payments that you gotta pay any money on, and all that stuff. I mean, what if that was the case? You know, and the thing is that a lot of decisions that you make in life is based off of your resources and capital that you have on hand. A lot of people don't realize that. A lot of people don't understand until they get older. Damn, I chose that person because I lived there in that part of the town, and that was all I could afford. And then we met and we struggled together. Now we're doing good. But if I probably had more money, I probably wouldn't even never met this person. If I had more resources, I wouldn't be in the situation that I'm in. You know, and all of that basically, that is true. It's very much a lot of decisions that you make is based off of your capital. When you have more capital, basically have more options. It just goes hand in hand. Um, you basically, let's just say, if you are on anywhere between steps 4 and step 9, you have you have a lifestyle that most people can't really afford to have. You know, you can travel wherever you want to. When you got like, 8,000 to $32,000 in the bank, you can travel anywhere you want. You can eat anywhere you want. I'll be honest, like, food kind of gets boring when you have a lot of money. Like, you got tens of thousands of dollars in the bank. Anywhere above $5,000 in the bank, it's kind of weird. Because and the reason why I say it's weird is because I grew up with siblings, mom and dad, that they both grew up poor. And then food was a big deal, and sometimes um mom's check was like, she's living check to check, and dad always broke, busted, and disgusted, damn near, helping out his family back home in Africa, and his friends here, and all kind of other stuff. You know, food was like kind of sometimes a big deal, you know. I never went without, but I mean, we didn't eat like no fancy like restaurants and stuff like that. We a fancy restaurant. I remember when I was younger, a fancy restaurant to me was Red Lobster. I mean, literally Red Lobster. Like I have to remind myself, Red Lobster ain't even fancy, you know. But to me, Red Lobster seems so fancy to me. And that was like probably like the creme de la creme of restaurants that my mom would take us. Basically, if we went out to eat a Red Lobster, it was a special occasion. you know, buffet. I mean, that was pretty decent, but all of those restaurants are just basic as hell. The food, we ate with just, basically, I wouldn't say bottom shelf, but just basic food. I mean, once you got like once I got older and I got in the situation, I remember the times where I had over $5,000 in the bank saved. I I was like bored. What do I eat today? I mean, I can eat anything I want. I literally, like, especially before I had children, I was like, damn, Cheesecake Factory. All right. I don't really this is boring. Like I mean, I could literally like not even eat because it's like, damn, I mean, I don't even know what I want to eat because I can just about have anything I want. And it's like even on that, even just having that little small amount of money, it to me it kind of like it's like a little touch of the touch of the rich. It's like damn, what do I eat today is it becomes a situation, um for me, you know. So she said, "Oh, that is the truth. I had a very similar experience. I used to think Texas de Brazil was high end. Now my kids look at it like McDonald's." Ah, yeah, that sounds like Fogo de Chao. I don't know if we have that brand here. I'm gonna be honest. I really, I really haven't really been to the little like. I've never even been to Fogo de Chao. I've never been to. It's a place called. It's a wine tasting place. I'm trying to think of the name of it. Uh, it got them all over the place. I can't think of the name, but it's like a wine tasting place, but there's also a restaurant. I haven't even been to those little bougie places. Like, one of the reasons is I'm single. I don't really like going places by myself. I'm kind of like one of those dudes. Like, I don't like going to the movies by myself. I have done that. I don't live with my children, so I'd have to pick them up and whatnot, but I don't really I don't really go out a lot in a little fancy. I can't afford it right now. I'm going through a renovation in my house. I can't afford that right now. I ain't that scenario ain't in effect. But I remember being in a situation where I could go to a high end restaurant, but I still didn't because I'm cheap when it comes to restaurants too. I'm so ingrained in, like, yeah, Red Lobster ain't no big deal, but I go. And the thing is that I'm too cheap to go to. It's a place called Gino's Steakhouse, and they got steaks for like $60, and all kinds of stuff. I don't go there. I mean, I'm just saying like this is what I'm saying is like I can go to Wendy's and get like I can tear up the menu. I can have anything I want. I can go to Applebee's and have, you know, 2 for 20 just by myself. Like I'm just saying like that. Like I remember being in a situation where, I had to eat at the dollar menu. I was so broke, and it's like, now all of a sudden, man, I can go, just about any little medium, little small restaurant like Applebee's and stuff like that, Chili's, and it ain't no big deal. But I don't go like in Chicago, they got restaurants where, man, they got $100 steaks and stuff like that. I ain't that rich. That ain't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like, like Chili's and Applebee's and stuff like that. It really got boring. Like even the Cheesecake Factory. I don't know if they have that all over the country, but they have that here. Like that, those places were like. Remember me and my ex-wife. She liked to go to different restaurants. She put me on to a lot of restaurants. Even those restaurants were boring to me because it wasn't that expensive. But you know, you be hard pressed to go there when you broke. Um, trying to look for the dollar menu. But yeah, that's good. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what it was called. It was called Cooper's Hawk. Yeah, definitely called Cooper's Hawk. That's the name of that place. I mean, it's definitely called that. So yeah, I remember that being the case. I just was like, I guess you want to call it food board. I was just like, well, I'm at work. I mean, not even so much at work. After work, I'm like, what do I eat for dinner? I got I got $5,000 in my bank, and you know, and it's like, damn, I remember having $50, and it's like, well, damn, man, I'm gonna go up to Wendy's and get me a meal. But $5,000, even $500, you like, well, I gotta probably still need to go to Wendy's today. Uh, but it's like basically 5,000. I might be able to go somewhere nice. But another thing is I also will say is that just in general, it's just a different feel. It's a different vibe that you have when you have money, your bills paid, you got debts, you paying on them, got a plan to get out of debt, doing your avalanche or your snowball method, and you know basically the difference between my plan and the Dave Ramsey plan is basically um let me see here. It's just frozen for some reason. My plan I just basically use leverage. I don't necessarily just throw everything into my debts, per se. Um like Dave Ramsey, he wants he what he uses is uh zero budget method, a zero budget method where you paying all of your money towards your debts. You know, my my pretty much my spiel is my whole idea, my plan is you pay your debts, but you still Like for example, if you're starting off with $1,000 and you are paying, you got your expenses paid and everything like that, you pretty much you got some debt. You establish that you're going to put about $500 a month towards your debts. Well, once you go higher up the steps and you go towards, basically, you get to, let's just say, my phone is acting real slow for some reason. You get to steps 4, right? Well, now instead of paying $500 a month, let's say your debt, you got $30,000 in debt. Instead of committing $500 towards your debt, now you can afford to put up $1,000 um towards your debt instead of 500. 500, you committing $6,000 towards your debts. You got $30,000 in debt. 6 grand. Now you're able to put 12,000, double that amount, because you've moved to steps 4 and 6. So let's just say you on a higher end, you on step 6 and you got 32,000. Well, you can even put up $1,500 towards your debt instead of 1,000. So that's where, eh, basically, my plan is to leverage your capital in your success towards whatever debts you have. Dave Ramsey is a zero budget, basically, method of all of the money that you have, mostly just put it towards your debt. Mine is you enriching yourself, you also paying your debts, and the more you make, the more you could pay off. Because it's like, you could ultimately just, you can take a step back, and then just, once you get up to 30,000, I mean, you could just pay. Let's just say you've already been paying for a year, and you could use that and just pay. You just got, like, let's just say 20 grand left to pay. You could just pay that 20 grand, just get out of debt, and you'll start back, um probably on the lower tier, step 4, and yeah, just work your way back up. And now you coming at it with no debt, and now you have a different perspective. You know what I'm saying? You got a different um reality. You have no debt. So it's basically, it's a way of enriching yourself, and also being responsible towards what you have. I mean, you know some people have probably critics of my system, I'm sure, but people, I'm definitely a critic of Dave Ramsey's system. I mean, but and I'm not the only one. But the thing is that it definitely is something that, if you got debts, you definitely got to take care of it. But when you have that money on hand, and you being responsible, and have like 8 grand in your account, you you're on step 4. I'm just saying, it's a different type of mindset and energy you gonna have when you have money saved versus you know not having any money whatsoever, just being check to check and having no money. It's just the way you gonna move, the way you gonna think is different. Like, you go just okay. Just imagine you on step 8. You got $32,000 in the bank, which is pretty much the medium income for a person that is like 25. You got that in your bank account, right? The medium yearly income of a 25-year-old in your bank account. And somebody just, like, said, you walking down the street, and somebody, like, um just kind of said something outlandish or something. You gonna get the hell away from that person. you know you're gonna be like, I got some shit to actually lose. You might not, A lot of people. That's the reason why they're frustrated because they live in check to check. They got the mortgage due. Their wife is about to leave them. Because they got all of these like problems, and it's financial. Most people have financial problems. Some are more serious than others, and a lot of times, you see people in the street in the public, and they're frustrated. And the reason why they're frustrated is because their finances are frustrated. You know, it's also a reason why people have failed relationships. You know, you're hard pressed to have a successful relationship when you are on the bottom, when you're poor. When you're trying to just deal with basic needs. It's very difficult to have to be positive and upbeat when you're like, you know, uh 2 months behind on rent, and then your landlord gives you vacate the premises notice or 5 day notice or whatever, and you got a court date coming up, for possibly about to get evicted. Some people like me, I'm able to I'm able to be positive no matter what calamities or things are coming my way. I'm able to be positive. I'm one of those Zen type people that I'm able to appreciate even when it's like troubling times. Some people are not able to do that. A lot of people are not able to do that. If it's whatever's frustrating them in life, in their own personal life, they take it outside. And when they go, as soon as they get outside, they're on edge. They're frustrated. They're ready to snap at any moment. I mean, a lot of people are not able to handle problems like that. A lot of people are very edgy and stuff like that. And a lot of times it's because they're on the edge. They're on the bottom. You know, they're even the middle class. They're trying to stay in the middle. And it's hard. It's like their taxes just went up. They don't seem to understand why they always every month are in don't have hardly anything left over because they live in check to check because basically they can't afford the lifestyle that they're living. They got the big expensive house, and you know wife has a car payment, and the husband has a car payment, and then they're paying for their children's college expenses, and they're like, they trying to keep a smile on their face, and you know uh trying to keep above water. But at the end of the day, when you come home, you gotta have you a drink because you just going through so much stress. You living good. You don't have to worry about that neighborhood you moved from that had all of the problems that it had, and you heard gunshots every other night or whatever. You moved on from that. You moved your family out of that, but you were just trying to escape one thing for another. When in essence you forgot one thing, and that is that neighborhood. You probably could have stayed there a little bit longer and saved some more money, and then moved into a house that you barely had a mortgage on, if not none at all, because you saved enough. You know, this is pretty much why you need to save money. This is just a reminder. You know, it's something that is just a reminder for people to remember that yeah, most people don't have ability to really have a lot of ability to just separate their financial problems from their attitude and behavior. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. But to just basically put things in a nutshell, yeah, I mean, this definitely, this plan does work. It's a very, very good plan. And if you want to purchase my book, it's basically on Amazon. It's on my website as well, brokegeniuses.com. It is available on paperback and also Kindle or ebook PDF format. And it's a life changing book. I just can't say that enough. The reason why I keep saying it's life changing is because here's the thing about life. A lot of times you're not able to really live life very well without the capital to do so. Like you might want to take a vacation every month. Well, it requires money to do that. A lot of things, I mean, it just unfortunately, it takes money to accomplish having a vacation every month. You know, it just does. And being able to save for that, it helps. If you to be able to do a vacation every month, that's stuff in step 4 to 6 type of talk. If right in the second step is where you could possibly be like, okay, I can take a vacation in a month. Definitely steps 7 and 9, hands down. You can take a vacation every month. Um, but unfortunately, steps 1 and 3, no, you might be hard pressed to do that. But the thing is definitely, what about step 0? A lot of people, unfortunately, and those are the people that I'm definitely trying to reach. Those people, a lot of people are, on step 0. And those are the people that I'm trying to reach. The step 0 people. I'm trying to reach those people because those are the people that benefit the most out of this book. You know, a lot of people don't even have $1,000 saved. I remember when I was on step 0. You know, I didn't have any money saved. I had a. I'll give my step 0 story. Um, I was basically living with my sister. I was working at a meat plant, chicken plant, called Coke Foods, and some people call it Koch, but it's Coke Foods. And they make the chicken parts for Popeyes, and that Popeyes chicken sandwich craze was going on. Well, yours truly was separating chicken parts for that sandwich. This was back in, what's this? It's not too long ago. Back in 2019. Yeah, 2019. I was in a chicken plant separating chicken parts and stuff, boxing up chicken parts and all kind of stuff, packaging chicken parts. And the thing is that I had this book already in my mind. It wasn't on paperback yet. It wasn't on Kindle, wasn't on Amazon or anything like that. I had this concept in my mind already. I already came to Like I literally, this concept came to me in basically like in a nighttime, a sleepless one sleepless night. I was thinking it wasn't one of those sleepless nights where you can't sleep, but you're like kind of like anguished or anything. It was like one of those sleepless nights where it was very inspirational. I was very inspired. I was thinking, I was pacing back and forth, thinking, what can I do to better myself financially? What can I do to basically I knew I want to be a millionaire. I knew I wanted to be rich. I knew I wanted to be wealthy. What can I do to do that? To get that those goals accomplished, to actually deal with my problem of saving money. And what came to mind was you know, what if I tried just, saving one step at a time? And a aha moment, light bulb went in my head, and the next day actually start writing things down, and the Millionaire Savings Plan was born. And I remember being in that chicken plant thinking about, when am I going to get on step one? What am I going to do? I mean, you know, I, I, my step one reward was a PlayStation 4 at the time. This was before the PlayStation 5 came out. So I was literally like, man, I got to give me a PlayStation 4 again. I had one before, and I had pawned it, and I was like, you know what? Let me go. Let me get another PlayStation 4. And then I was thinking about, damn, what if I get on step 8 and step 6? And I was thinking about these steps, and it motivated me to work. And at the time, I think I had like probably like $300 or $400, $200 in my bank account, and I was saving that to try to get more money so I can get on step one. And fortunately, um, someone decided to hire me back in the field that I went to school for and worked in for so long, which is IT. And I got back into IT, got out the chicken plant, never looked back. And that was the latter part of 2019. That was like probably quarter four, Q4 of 2019, around October. I got out the chicken plant, and then got a little bit more money. It was like a low pay IT job, but it was pretty laid back. It was actually so laid back that it gave me time to actually write my book. I remember writing my book, typing it out while I was working. I was working for a university, local university at the time, and late in my times where it was kind of like you know wasn't really much going on. I just was in my office, and I was writing up my book, writing up the Millionaire Savings Plan. And at that time, I was already on step two, going to step three. And then I saw another opportunity come up where it was paying $10 more than what I was making. And then I transitioned to that, and then COVID, started happening. And and then I took things to closer to step four. And I got my house, and it's been very challenging because all my money I'm basically going into my house. So ultimately, I will put everything, after everything off the everything settles. I should be on step seven. After this house is done, I'll get an appraisal, and I should be on step seven. So um that's my story. So I'll just leave it with that. And basically this is pretty much something that I'm gonna be doing more regularly. I'm gonna be talking about my book and why it's important. I mean, it's definitely important. And I am not a millionaire. Some people will say you you need to be a millionaire to or whatever. And I don't think so. I think pretty much it's self-explanatory. Um, you know, I don't want to fake it till I make it. Some people they come at things on a level of being a charlatan, meaning they want to fake like they already like I could have came on here. I'm a pretty good actor. I could have came on YouTube and act as a charlatan and just pretend like I was already a millionaire, like some people, and then basically talk about my book and my concepts and all of that type of stuff. But no, I decided to be correct and be real, and that's what I did, and that's there you have it.
If you don't think money can buy happiness, you don't know where to shop. You can get money and then go save the world. You can get money and save the forests in Brazil. You make money and go save global warming. But without money, you can't save a fucking thing. Don't you understand? Don't the fucking idiots on YouTube understand that? Until you make some shekels, until you make some fucking coin, you can't help anybody. Because if love got the job done, you wouldn't all be fucked up.